All right. All right, you've got me out of here again. Now, the most recent topic I've had to explain to people is what is intermittent fasting and how is that actually going to benefit your weight loss? And is it the only solution for you to lose weight? Now, firstly, what is intermittent fasting? Now, intermittent fasting is where you've got obviously the hours of your day. So we've got 24 hours in a full day. When you are fasting, you are choosing a period of time where you're not eating any food whatsoever. Now, I'm going to show you here why this can work for weight loss, but also why it can't. Now, when we're fasting, as I just said then, we're obviously choosing a period of time where we're not going to be eating food. A very common one is 16 and 8. So I'm going to mark on my whiteboard here 16 hours where you're not eating food. So you can see here, if we were to be eating food for a 24-hour period, it's a lot of food that we could potentially consume. Now here I've marked that 16-hour period, approximately 2/3, all right, of our day, we're gonna not eat any food whatsoever. So that means in this 8-hour period down the end here, that is your only window for eating food. Now you might be thinking, Taylor, why is that gonna help me lose weight? Here, I'll show you. Imagine that this circle here represents one full day of eating for yourself, right? So let's say whatever that equals, let's say that's about 3,000 calories, right? Let's say you're eating 3,000 calories a day. Now, under the rules of the 16 and 8 principle of intermittent fasting, we're going to be taking away 2/3 of that. So this is your normal plate, and imagine this is what we're gonna make your plate now. So now all of a sudden, we've reduced your total caloric intake by 66%. That's a metric fucking shit ton. Obviously, you are going to be in a severe calorie deficit by doing this. Now, what do we think intermittent fasting has in relation to losing weight? Wow, it's not that we're restricting your food for a certain amount of time. It's the fact it's putting you in a bloody calorie deficit, right? This is why intermittent fasting can be a good option for some of you to lose weight. And it makes sense. But it's not the only reason you are losing weight. Calorie deficit is the only way you can lose weight. Now, when it comes to losing weight, obviously calories in, calories out are a really big thing. Let's look at like intermittent fasting or keto or anything like that. All of those options are restricting either time or a food group on your diet. The most important thing I want you to consider are your weekly calories. So how much food you're eating Monday through to Sunday. This is going to represent the average person's daily calories based off of Monday to Sunday, right? Now let's say you've been a really good boy leading from Monday to Thursday. You're restricting yourself, you're leading yourself away from the chocolates and the soft drink. Let's say you're only eating 2,000 calories a day, Monday through to Thursday. Then Friday comes around, right? Who doesn't love a good Friday beer? You've just knocked off a big week of work, you're at the pub with the boys, and then all of a sudden your calories go from your normal 2,000 to 3,000 calories. Now, Saturday comes around. You got footy on the Saturday, you want to put some punts on, and let's be real, a couple more beers, you might even get some takeout. So Saturday and Sunday then, you smash out 4,000 calories. Now you may only think you're eating 2,000 calories a day as when we look at Monday through to Thursday, but your weekends are your blowouts, right? And that's what's gonna really put your weekly average through the roof. So if we had this as our week of calories, your weekly average would then be 2, 4, 6, 8. Your weekly average, rather than being 2,000 a day, would be 2,700 calories a day, as opposed to you thinking you're only having 2,000 calories a day, right? Now, although 2,700 isn't a hell of a lot, it may be too much for you currently to be losing weight, right? If you do want to have those big weekends and have some time with your friends, by all means, go for it. Having that life balance is super important, and I'm one of those people, right? So that may just mean that we drop our calories on Monday through to Thursday by 200. So we try and have 1,800 instead. So that's where on your weekends, just be wise and look at what you are eating, okay? But this is where your weekly average is really going to make a difference to how you perceive your day-to-day intake and how you will end up losing weight. Maybe it's time to join Steady Fit Training. Moving on from obviously how much food you consume, when you consume it, or how much you're cutting out, people obviously want to know what exercises they need to do to lose weight. This is probably one of the most annoying topics I have that people talk about, right? A lot of people are like, I need to do 50 HIIT classes a week. I've got one of my clients who wants to do all of the workouts that I've prescribed him, plus 3 HIIT classes, Pilates, walking the dog 3 times a day. And although I'm keen on that mentality, like, fucking get it, brother, you're a beast, it's not the most important thing in the world, right? Being active is huge, but you do not need to flog yourself to lose weight. The most influential thing that's actually going to help you lose weight will be your intake, not so much how active you are. And I'm going to show you why. Now, when looking at this little image here, the total calories you burn in a day, right? Now, the first thing I've written down here is your BMR, which stands for your basal metabolic rate. Your metabolism is by far the most amount of calories you will burn in a day, right? So what that tells me then is if you were in a coma, you're laying on a bed, you can literally do nothing. You're laying there doing absolutely zilch. You will still burn more calories because you are alive, because you exist, than what you will in any workout you will ever do, right? So this is something we need to keep in mind for a starter. Next is your total daily expenditure. Now, depending on the individual, your basal metabolic rate will change based off of gender, height, age, weight, activity levels, what you eat, how much you eat, right? There are a lot of factors that influence your basal metabolic rate. The next thing on top of your metabolism, which will burn the most amount of calories, will be your total daily expenditure, right? So just by you existing, right, you've gotten up, you've walked to the front door, you've walked to the car to drive to work, you've then had to park the car and then walk into work, or things like that, cleaning up the house and just moving around, just general daily activities. That is the second thing that will burn the most amount of calories for you. And you can see here, in comparison to our metabolism, it's not really that much, right? Like, it's not a huge difference compared to what our metabolism will do for us. But those activity levels will actually help you boost your metabolism. So being more active on a day-to-day basis, not necessarily in the gym grinding weights and lifting, but just moving more, will help you a lot more than doing a quick smashing 30-minute workout where you feel like a corpse afterwards. The last thing I want to talk to you about when it comes to burning calories, this little black bit at the top here. Now, it is obviously smaller than our BMR and our total daily expenditure because that's our workouts, right? So if you come into the gym, let's say you go to a CrossFit box and you're smashed by the hardest WOD you've ever done. Let's say you've just done a friendly Fran or something like that, right? And you are smashed. You're on the ground, gasping for air. It sucks. You actually didn't really burn all that many calories. Although you may have really challenged like your lactate threshold or your aerobic capacity, you may have done something really good for your performance, but you haven't necessarily done much for weight loss. Keeping that in mind, this topic is all about weight loss. So at the end of the day, the algorithm is pretty simple. We need our calories in, what we eat, to be less than the calories out. It's not rocket science, guys. I really want you to nail this one down. Now, your method to your madness can be anything. If you want to use intermittent fasting where you restrict the time you're allowing yourself to eat, go for it. If you want to do, let's say, keto, where you're restricting an entire group of food, again, go for it. There's no right or wrong answer, but there are strategies that will help you be more successful and strategies that probably aren't suited to you and probably won't work for you, right? At the end of the day, I want you to focus on your calories and across the whole entire week. If you're really looking at trying to nailing this one, the calories in versus calories out, my online coaching, Steady Fit Training, is now available to download in the App Store. Click the link in my bio to create your account today, and let's get to work.